Good evening gamers, welcome to tonight's video. So as we all know, this morning Nintendo unveiled a bit more information about the Switch. So let's talk about what we got from them this morning. So we've got that the console's getting launched on March the 3rd. Yeah, I'm running off notes I made while I've been watching the video because I wasn't able to watch the actual thing live because of work, so I've been sort of watching it in dribs and drabs throughout my breaks. Made myself a bunch of notes on my note. So yeah, we've got release date March 3rd 2017. Pricing, American guys, you can look at $300, give or take a penny or two. Over here in the UK they didn't have anything specific at the time, but pre-orders have gone live now through Amazon and Game. They've both got it at $280. So for online capabilities, they were saying that it's going to be connected online, obviously, because multiplayer is a big thing. From what I can gather, it sounds like they're doing the Xbox PlayStation mobile app route. I'm hoping that that makes it a lot easier for people to add each other as friends, because otherwise that's just going to make the whole system a bit of a ball ache. What they've said is that it's going to be a free trial, and then it's going to be a paid service afterwards. That's going to come in sometime in autumn 2017, so autumn this year. I keep forgetting it's 2017. Not sure how I feel about that, because obviously Nintendo have always had the free online, but if it stops us being quite so stunted and limited as it has been so far, then I'm all for it, especially if they start running the same sort of like free game services like Sony and Microsoft do with the Xbox and PlayStation. Another big bit of news on it is they've followed the route like they do with the DS, and they've not region locked the console, so that excites me, because there are plenty of games that I know, because it happens with every format, that are only going to see the light of day in certain territories, mostly Japan. So that's going to be exciting, particularly for like the JRPG guys, because a lot of JRPGs don't see the light of day outside Japan. Now there was the bit where they were talking about the evolution of consoles, so they went from like the NES right the way up to present day. I think they may have forgotten that they made a point of saying around the time the GameCube came out not to rely on the handle to carry it. I'm pretty sure I remember that being in the GameCube manual. I'll have a look into that at some point, but I'm like 90% sure I remember that. Obviously in the presentation they were pretty big on Switch as well. Now I wouldn't be surprised if the little animation they've got where the two things together like that and make the click on the red background, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the console startup splash screen. Because it would make sense to me. Every console always has like a at the start, and that one just sort of fits. I like the different play styles that they've got going on. So you can have like use the Joy-Con in different ways, and have it as either the tablet form like a Wii U gamepad or as a proper console. I like that. That's going to make play very interesting. The conversation that they had about battery life, 2.5 to 6 hours if you've got it in portable mode. The 2.5 was a bit of a stinger, but from what I can gather we'll be able to charge it on the go as long as you can find an AC point, so here's hoping. Obviously it's got a touchscreen on it, because if they didn't put touchscreen on it I'd be surprised. You can link 8 of them together for local multiplayer, which will be great for party scenarios. I know a few people that still do like LAN parties for PC gaming and stuff, so why not start doing LAN parties for for the Switch? I'm a little bit worried about the ergonomics of the Joy-Con controllers. Now, obviously Nintendo have always been fantastic with ergonomics. I mean, a lot of people still bash the N64 pad, but I think it's still one of the most comfortable ever. GameCube easily is for me. But I remain to be seen. They look a little bit small particularly in those moments where you'll be holding the pad sideways on. Now, I never particularly enjoyed holding a Wii remote sideways on because it just felt awkward. So, remains to be seen on there how ergonomic the design actually is. Obviously, we've got the NFC function in there for the Amiibo, because if they cut Amiibo off, that would have pissed a fair few people off with the amount of money that's been spent on those. And they have, quite exciting for me, gone down the route of adding a capture button for screenshots and later video footage. Now, those of us that already have capture cards like I do are just literally going to plug the HDMI cable in and hope Elgato at some point adds some support for it. But otherwise, that'll be a good way to share things, so long as you can do it over social media like they say, and it's not just going to be like Miiverse. Again, we've got motion controls. Still not sure how I feel about that. It was expected, but I'm not a big motion control gamer. I mean, as much as I love the Zelda series, I bought Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword on Wii and never finished them because I just couldn't be arsed. I like the fact that they come with the wrist straps. Everything that they showed around the way they've put it all together, you can see how literally every console, particularly the two generations of Wii and Wii U, have just been like a beta test for this. It's great. I like the fact that the wrist straps come with a little clip to them, so where you would hold the Joy-Con like this, and that would be where it would onto the screen. I like the fact that the wrist strap slots onto that as well, giving you a bit of extra grip. The infrared camera thing that they showed off, that was interesting. That was interesting. We'll have to see what they decide to do with that. Excuse me. HD Rumble, I'm not sure. I like it. It looks like they could do a lot of stuff with it, and it would be brilliant. But I'm not sure how it's going to pan out. Again, that's a feature that, even though it's like a silly little thing, I'm really sort of interested in seeing how that works. Then they showed off 1-2 Switch. Blatantly gonna be the Switch edition of Wii Sports, isn't it? Let's face it, it's a party game, it's an easy pick up and play. I quite like the look of it. I mean, it had me from the minute they were advertising it with a cowboy sort of like duel at sunset. I liked that. Yeah, that's a title I'm hoping, with it being a release title, that they may bundle it in with the console, but we'll see. Now, another game that they showed off was ARMS. Yeah. It looked good. I'm torn. I am torn. It looks good. Massively, from what I saw, made me think of a cross between Wii Boxing and Pokken Tournament. But I'm gonna play it, let's face it. Particularly if they do like downloadable demos and stuff, because it looks like it could be a good laugh. But definitely looks like Wii Boxing crossed with Pokken Tournament. And they've got that slated for a spring release, so anytime in the first couple of months of this life, really. Then they showed off Splatoon 2. Now, the guy on stage playing the Squid Professor, that was a bit weird. I never played the first Splatoon, so I haven't really got anything to go on from that. I mean, to be fair, I've got 5 Wii U games. Wind Waker HD, Sonic, Smash Brothers, Xenoblade X. That's it. I do need to play a bit more on my Wii U. I think I might break that out as the next console for the channel. Anyway, Splatoon looked really good, and it looks like a fun game that it might actually get me back into shooters, which would be good. But there were some seriously bad puns in there. But there we go. Some of the weapons look really cool as well, and they've got that slated down for a summer release. Then they showed off Super Mario Odyssey. Now, when that first started up, so all you could see was the cityscape, I honest to God thought they were going to be showing us a Jet Set Radio remake or something, because it looked... Graphically, I just looked at it and saw a HD Dreamcast, and then obviously up pops Mario out of the sewer. I was like, oh, okay, not Jet Set Radio, new Mario game. The game itself, from what they showed us, it looks great. The hat thing, I was a little bit weird about. There's a bit of like an odd job Bond villain thing going on there. But then I saw a little piece of footage later on in the presentation where you could like throw it and it would hover and you could use it as a platform, which I thought was actually quite ingenious. The eyes obviously were a bit weird at first, but they've blatantly made it so that the hat's a new character, so I imagine there's going to be a sort of Banjo-Kazooie, Mario Sunshine Flood sort of thing going on there with Mario in the hat. They've got that set for Holiday 2017, so I don't know why they can't just say Christmas. It's the Christmas period. Holiday my arse. Then we saw a little trailer for Xenoblade 2, which looked beautiful. I have to be honest, Chronicles X on the Wii U I didn't play a massive amount of because I was looking for something to replace the GameCube Phantasy Star Online game. I didn't really give it a fair cop, but that game looks beautiful on the Switch, and it's definitely one that I'll try and pick up at some stage, you know, when finances come available. Fire Emblem, I think in the case of that, they were just banking on fans of the series just getting really wildly excited there, because they didn't show us a great deal, so I'm not really going to go much onto that. Then they brought in some conversations about some of the third-party titles. So they told us that we were getting Dragon Quest 10 and 11 and Dragon Quest Heroes, which will excite a few people. Again, Dragon Quest's not a series I've ever played. That I do like the look of them, but I've just never bothered. Then we saw a trailer from Atlas, which was there was a 25 logo on there. Now, it wasn't something I was initially familiar with. And then they, a little bit later on, mentioned that it was Shin Megami Tensei, and that little snippet looked fucking mint. So I wouldn't mind giving that a go when that comes out. Then Square Enix showed off Octopath something or other. I only remembered the Octopath bit on my note. Weird title. Looked so much like a sort of typical Final Fantasy Golden Sun style RPG. So that could be good. Particularly portable, because I find I sort of always expect portable games to be a little bit less than spectacular than a home console game. So that to me would be like a GBA title, I suppose. Then there was the announcement from the guy at Sega. Where the fuck did they find that translator? He did not have a clue what was going on. Bless him, I feel sorry for him, because obviously translating Japanese live must be difficult, but wow. That was a bit, yeah. After Sega, because they didn't really say a great deal, came some pretty good news that we'd sort of expected since the console was first revealed. Fucking Skyrim. So, Skyrim Mobile, I pretty much know where all my break time's going at work. Switch is going in my bag. At break, I'm killing some fucking dragons. Then I got really excited because Suda51 came on stage. Again, the crap translator, but Travis Touchdown is back. I fucking loved No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2. I bought No More Heroes Heroes Paradise for the PS3. I've not played it yet, but the intention was to play it again just so I could get trophies that obviously the Wii didn't have. So I'm hoping No More Heroes 3 is coming there. Then we had an announcement from the folks at EA. Excuse me a second. Now, they talked a lot about what they were expecting for the console, and then revealed a bit about FIFA for the Switch, which is going to be built purely for the Switch. Now, I've never been a bit of a big FIFA fan at all. I mean, big, yeah, but not football. You know, I'm not the greatest sports fan, but I never really minded having a blast at the games occasionally. One of my friends, we used to play FIFA together on the PS1 when we were younger. Obviously, I just foul the fuck out of him and just get all my players red carded, but the fun was still there. So on the Switch, it might get me back playing FIFA because I want to have that same experience again with him, because I mean he's having some medical problems at the minute, so he's not really been getting out of the house, so I can go to him instead. Then they did a showcase of all different trailers. They made some of those games look fucking fantastic in that. I got gradually more and more excited. Then they basically told us what was going to be in the box. Fairly standard fare, what we'd already expected, and showed off that they'd got not only the standard black J controllers, Joy-Cons, whatever. I keep wanting to say J-Cons. Yeah, so there was the standard black Joy-Cons, or you could get it in red and blue. Nah, I like the neon red and neon blue. They look cool, but for me, it kind of feels a bit weird having red and blue Joy-Cons and everything else would be all black. So I think personally I'd probably go for the black set. Then they switched over, lol, to the head of Nintendo UK, well Europe should I say. He was talking about some road shows that are coming up, so I'm going to try and get to one of those, particularly now my weekend's going to be a lot more free because I'm scoring my new job today. Oh yes. Then they showed off Breath of the Wild. Every time I see it, it looks essentially, the best way to describe it is Nintendo does Skyrim. You know, if you've got anybody that's never played a Zelda game but's played Skyrim, that's all you need to tell them. It looks fucking amazing. They're showing it off a bit more tomorrow in New York apparently. The little bit where Aonuma jumped out on Reggie was a bit sort of like, okay, that's the dog. That's obviously coming March 3rd as a release title for the system as well. And if we're right from that trailer, we're gonna have actual voice acting in a Zelda game. Now, remains to be seen whether it's gonna be the typical Japanese audio with subs, or whether it is actually gonna get an English or multinational dub. That we'll have to wait and see. But regardless, fucking want. Console in general, I can't fucking wait. The fact that, I'm not going to lie to you, my finances are pretty much knackered is really galling to me at the minute, because it means there's no way on earth I'm going to be getting a Switch on release day. Not on March the 3rd. But hey, June time, birthday, just get everybody in the family to come together. That's the one thing I want. Simple. So yeah, you might not get anything from me for the Switch on release day. I mean, if life changes, happy days. But rest assured, as soon as I can start providing stuff for the Switch, I will be doing so. So I'm going to pop the note down here, the phone, obviously. And just say, yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble on about the new Nintendo system. The dog's being a delightful little pest. Come and say hello. Come on then. Come on. Meg, come on, you can get up. There we go. So, this little beast is Meg. Yes. Now turn around, say hello. There, look. She's not very happy. Yeah, because we've been at work all day. So yeah, thank you for paying attention, thank you for watching. Anybody's got any comments, queries, you know what to do. And hopefully we'll see you all soon for my next stream. Take care, guys.